Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. A good and Erev Shabbos, everyone. Here we are, Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Parshas Vayakhel Pikude. It's a Shabbos Chazak. It is also Shabbos Mevarchim. It is also Shabbos Parshas HaChodesh, which means Rosh Chodesh Nisan is upon us. Special Parshios continue, and we ask you to continue to please daven for Chaylei Tzvah Gan Yisrael, before Shalom L'Chol P'tuei Yisrael, the safety of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael. And we learn each day L'ilui Nishmat Seren Daniel Shimon Harav Doron V'Shel Shem Kam Damo. So here it is, the one you've all been waiting for. This is it. For all the marbles, Yomam Shein Omer Behem Tachanun. Days in which we skip Tachanun. I will begin by saying that when I was in yeshiva, I had a bacher who sat next to me, and he had in his tefillin bag a special calendar, and on this calendar listed every single day of the year, and it was some Rebbe's yortzeit, and he used that as a basis to be able to skip Tachanun, because he said it's so-and-so's yortzeit today, we're going to skip Tachanun. I don't think we're going to go that far, but we're going to go what's based on the halacha. So here we go. So, since the whole essence of Tachanun, it's a painful prayer. It's a prayer that has prayer because it's talking about how we're insufficient. It's talking about what we're lacking. It's talking about what we're not doing right. Because this is why we're falling down, because we can't even stand up in front of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. But rather we just have our heads down almost in shame and we're falling on our faces. So therefore, on a day of Simcha, like Shabbos, Yontif, Rosh Chodesh, it wouldn't be fitting to say Tachanun. And since Tachanun was only instituted as a reshus to begin, that was never an obligatory prayer, so since even on days that are possibly, maybe could have some sort of simcha to it, therefore we don't say Tachanun. So the obvious is Shabbos, Yontif, Rosh Chodesh. So Elu hayomim shein omrem Tachanun lefi seder Hashanah, according to the order of the year. Here is the list of the days in which we don't say Tachanun. Again, if you look in different Sidurim, you will find different versions, different halachas, different what to do. But we are studying Peninei Halacha, and this is what Rav Melamed states. Shachris shel Erev Rosh Hashanah, on Erev Rosh Hashanah, so that's the day before Rosh Hashanah at Shachris. And it's ironic because in Slichos we do say Tachanun, and in Shachris we don't. Shachris shel Erev Yom Kippur, on Erev Yom Kippur also we don't say it. Miyud Aleph B'Tishrei at Sof Chodesh Tishrei, so from the day after Yom Kippur, which there's a couple of days until Sukkot, through Sukkot, and then to the end of the month, Hoel Ve'elu Yomim Shesaviv Chag HaSukkos, because these are all surrounding the Yontif of Sukkot, and most of the month is Chag, so we just take off the whole month. Chanukah, Tu B'Shvat, Shnei Yom Purim, 2 days of Purim, as we just had, Uvishana Me'uberes Gam Yudal V'Tesvav Ba'adar Rishon, and in a leap year coming up next year, I believe, is a leap year, so then also in Adar Rishon, when it's not actually Purim, but we do have Purim Katan. So Purim Katan, Shushan Purim Katan, we don't say Tachanun. Kol Chodesh Nisan, so that's coming up this week. A lot of people are very excited for Rosh Chodesh Nisan because that means a whole month of not saying Tachanun. Shehol v'yatz ruba b'kedusha, since most of the month is in sanctity, shebetchila sahis chanukas hamishkan v'achar chag haPesach, because starting from Rosh Chodesh Nisan for the first 12 days, we celebrate the dedication of the Mishkan for 12 days in the Desiyim, as read in Parshas Naso, followed by Pesach. So therefore, ein omer b'kul Tachanun, so we take the entire month off. Yud Daled b'Iyar shu Pesach Sheni, on a month after Pesach and Pesach Sheni on the 14th of Iyar. Lag ba'Omer, me Rosh Chodesh Sivan v'ad Yud Beis b'Sivan, from Rosh Chodesh Sivan until the 12th of Sivan. Shaz ad hikuras tashlumi karbanos chag HaShavuos, because not only do we have Shloshos Yimei Hagbal, Erev Shavuos and Shavuos, but we also have the tashlum and the makeup days for the karbanos of Shavuos. Tisha B'Av, on Tisha B'Av we don't, so he writes here in parentheses, Obim nehavelos me'ishanik remoed. So there's two possible reasons, kind of on the flip side of one another, either because it's the morning, and in a house of mourning we don't say Tachanun, or because in Megillas Eicha, Tisha B'Av is called a moed. I know it's kind of hard to wrap your head around that, but Tisha B'Av is a moed. And then Tu B'Av, and finally we have the 15th of Av, as we're told in the last Mishnah, Maseches Tainis. And also on the mincha that immediately precedes these days, the aforementioned days, we don't say Tachanun. The exception is milvad shebemincha shel erev Rosh Hashanah umincha shel erev Yom Kippurim sherabim omer behem vidoy avalot Tachanun. Except mincha and erev Rosh Hashanah, and mincha on Erev Yom Kippur, because many people say vidui, but they won't say Tachanun. And the Rav doesn't write this here, but there's also an interesting question to look into, whether or not mincha before Pesach Sheni, should you say Tachanun or not. Again, that's my own addition here. It's something worth looking into. And now we conclude this chapter with perhaps what you might think is obvious to some, not to everyone, but certainly to me it is. So after we have seen the sprouting, the flourishing of our redemption, we do not say Tachanun on Yom Ha'atzmaut. We do not say Tachanun on Yom Yerushalayim, which is the 28th day of Iyar. And we also don't say Tachanun on the Mincha beforehand. The next chapter, there's one more chapter in this parak which has to do with situational reasons not to say Tachanun. Let's say you have a simcha taking place, nothing to do with the calendar, but these are the basic days in which one does not recite Tachanun. A lot of other people will suggest many other things, like maybe on the 7th of Adar, it's the Yahrzeit Moshe Rabbeinu. Again, whatever the shul's custom is, but it's not found in the halacha. It's not found in the Shulchan Aruch. So we try to follow what's written, and we follow mainstream practice. So we ask you to please follow your to continue davening for Chayei Tzvah Yisrael, for Shalom Yisrael, safety of Eretz Yisrael, brothers and sisters there. Wishing everyone a peaceful and restful Shabbos Kodesh ahead of us. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Shabbat Shalom.